You don't have to break the bank to do art journaling and mixed media. And in this video, I'm going to show you how.
This is the second video in my Saving You Money series. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 ways you can save crafting dollars.
Before we get started, if you missed the first in this series, go back and look for this thumbnail and watch the first 5 ways you can save your crafting dollars.
Now, the different designers and creators all have their version of designer tissue paper. This is Tim Holtz. Love them. But here's the thing. You don't need to buy them. Now, if you buy this, you have a lot of the same thing. And again, variety, how many times are you going to want to use the same product again and again and again? And there's no real originality to it. You are using somebody else's art on your own. Instead of buying this, and again, this isn't about that this isn't a good product, this is about I can serve my needs better. I can make my own designer tissue papers or on deli papers using my stamps, my stencils, my mark makers. And these are a little bit more original. Yes, I'm still using stamps and stencils from other people if as the case may be, but I can mix and match them and come up with something that is more uniquely mine. And I've extended my fun time. So you can have a build your stash session where you go and create your designer tissue papers. And then you can have those at hand to use. And you have a lot of variety with that. Now, a lot of this I do on dollar store tissue paper. Nothing fancy. I've done it on deli paper. Prefer the tissue paper. But you can also stencil on the excess plies of napkins. So if you use napkins for decoupage or you use napkins as focal images in your art, don't throw away these other layers, because these layers work wonderfully well to make your own designer tissue paper. Where the napkin is white, it goes pretty much translucent, disappears, and you see what's behind it, and then you have the black and white stenciling, mark making that you've done on it. Are you addicted to shimmer and shine? I am. And so when I started, I wanted to get all the metallics and the iridescence, you know, in every color of the rainbow. Well, 2 things wrong with that. One, the cost of getting it in every color of the rainbow. And 2, then you have to store those tubes of paint in every color of the rainbow that are metallic or shimmery. So I stopped and thought, is there a workaround? Is there a way I can get all that shimmer and shine that I love without having to store how many more tubes of paint? And I came up with it. All you really need is a gold, a silver, and an iridescent medium. And you'll see that these are Artist Loft. They're the Michaels brand, but any brand, good student grade brand. Now, with these, you will take the gold, the silver, or the iridescent medium and mix it with a color that you love. So you can mix it with teal, you can mix it with magenta, you can mix it with orange. You get the point, any color. Now, I'm not going to do that inextensively, but I did make a video several years ago where I go through and I mix it When you mix it with the gold, it kind of adds that yellow in there and it changes the tones a little bit, but you get some amazing, amazing colors. You mix it with the silver, again, you get a different color. And the iridescent medium, you just get that shimmer and shine. Add it. So all you need is these 3 tubes of paint and you have every color shimmer and shine. So here I've done just a sampling of it, but I will link that video so you can watch that in depth. So over here we have the base color. This is bright aqua with gold, and as expected, it's leaning towards the green because you're adding yellow to blue. This is with silver, this is with the iridescent medium. So if you have those, you can mix it up and get whatever tone you want. And, you know, just a word, if I add more gold and less of the base color, I'm going to get a slightly different shade. So you get lots of variation with that, which is another advantage to mixing it yourself as opposed to buying 1 tube of whatever paint. So this is Prussian blue with the gold, and again it has a bit of a green tone to it. Prussian blue with silver, Prussian blue with iridescent medium. The difference between the iridescent medium and the silver is with the silver it's somewhat muted, whereas the iridescent medium is clear, so you're more likely to get the exact color that's in the tube, but with the shimmer. Down here we have quinacridone magenta base color, quinacridone magenta with gold, and it's kind of gone into that coral zone. Quinacridone magenta and silver, quinacridone magenta and iridescent medium. So again, if you want more on this, check the links below and you will find the video tutorial that's just about using these products to get all the shimmer and shine that you want. You don't need to spend a lot of money on expensive brushes to do art journaling. This is a 3 set that I get at Walmart for, it's under $5. That's Canadian. And these work just fine. When they get all scungied up or whatever, I can toss them around. The price point is great. Now I would spend a little bit more money on an angle brush that I use when I am shading or edging. I go to Michael's and I get spending a little bit more money on that because I want it to be a little firmer and a little bit more high-end, I guess. A little bit more better quality, I guess is the word that I'm looking for. So again, save your money, buy cheaper brushes. These from Walmart work perfectly well. I don't need to spend more money on that. Our journalers don't buy stamped sentiment packs. If you're a card maker, again, that's a different hobby, craft need. So that might be something that you're going to build up in your stash. But as an art journaler, I want a lot of variety of sentiments to match my page. I want to be able to have it larger sizes. So if I'm doing a 9x12 or a 7x10 page, the scale of the sentiment matches the scale of the page. So what do I recommend instead of stamped sentiments? Well, I recommend getting a stash of either wooden blocks. You can get a variety of those. They're easily available. You can get the silicone ones. I prefer these to these. We have different sizes that you can stamp the sentiment on. So that is a good thing to add to your stash instead if you want to put sentiments in your art journals. Another thing that I can recommend, and in fact I love it so much that I've created some that are for sale at NINNYSNAPKINS.com, are digital sentiment packs. So while in a set that you would buy for $12 to $20 stamp set, for that same price point you might get 10 stamps here if you're lucky. Digital stamps, I've got 30 different sentiments. So you see how you're getting more for less. The other benefit to digital stamps, digital sentiments, especially, or I know with mine, you have the ability to make them larger with your printer settings or shrink them down with your printer settings. So you have a lot of variety and you can match the size of the sentiment to your page. So if you're doing an ATC, you can shrink it right down. You're doing a 9x12, you can blow it right up. And I actually have videos that I teach you how to do that so you get the maximum benefit out of the digital sentiment pack. You can use stamps and stencils to put marks on your page, and I do. I love my stamps and stencils, but there's a more inexpensive way that you can get interesting marks on your page. And one of those things requires you to go to a Dollar Tree, a Dollarama, dollar store of some kind, and look for things that have texture, like shelf liners. Look at that interesting texture. There's another shelf liner and another one. These make interesting marks. Another thing that makes interesting marks are dish or sink liners. Lots of variety. In the housewares department, trivets, silicone trivets. This one's got a honeycomb pattern. Look at the patterns here. These work well right on the page or on your jelly plate. Look at the variety you can get. This is embroidery mesh. Makes for a beautiful stencil or stamp. Another place you can get some mark makers is your own recycling bin. Cardboard makes interesting marks. Don't forget the bubble wrap. The bottoms of produce. Lids, different size circles. Some odd shapes. Even a toilet paper roll. So look in the recycling bin to get some interesting mark makers. You can also make your own stamps using fun foam. I've made a video where I show how I made these mark making tools. I'll link it in the description box below. This is a Ranger blending tool and foam. It has Velcro on it. You can just put that on and you can use it to put paint through a stencil or to put paint on your page, and they work really well. There are other applicators out there as well that you can buy. But if you want to save money, here's what I recommend. Go to the dollar store, Dollar Tree, even Walmart, discount store, and get some makeup sponges. There's 28 in this pack for $1.50. Now these are a little more dense and they work really well. And these aren't a one and done. You can get multiple uses out of them because you can clean them. After you use them to put paint through a stencil or to put it on the page, you can take it and drop it in a tub of water that you put a dishwashing tab in. That releases the paint and you are able to use that cheap makeup sponge again and again.
Coming soon to this channel, more ways to save money. The third in my Save Money series.